He tried to do it through intimidating Mike Pence. He tried to do it through the Justice Department. They talked about seizing voting machines. They talked about using the army. I mean, you can't really believe that this guy is not worse than Joe Biden, a criminal, and he's crazy, and he's stupid. And crazy and stupid are two different. Stupid is like Frederick Douglass is alive, or the stealth bomber is literally invisible. Or nobody knew healthcare was hard to solve. That's just stupid. He's very stupid.
Trump's in panic mode, and it's all thanks to Bill Maher. The comedian just dropped some truth bombs on Joe Rogan's show, and Trump's not laughing. Maher called Trump a malignant narcissist and broke down why that's so dangerous for democracy. But here's the kicker. He also explained why Trump's like a city roach. Curious? You'll want to see this.
He just goes along with all the woke nonsense because he doesn't want to fight that wing of his party. He can't afford to have a battle on the left. There's two cases about trying to steal the election. One, the national case that Jack Smith is prosecuting, and then there's the one in Georgia. Now, they cross paths in a lot. He tried every possible way to steal this election. He tried to do it through the courts. He tried to do it through state legislatures.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Once Bill Maher entered the comedy ring, he was prepared to tackle Trump's best jokes. His entrance was absolutely breathtaking. First, Trump's claim about invisible planes was mocked by Maher. Trump believes the F-35 is actually undetectable people. It follows that he must be blind to his own hypocrisy. On Trump's fixation with crowd sizes, Maher provoked an explosive response from the audience. You would think Trump was trying to compensate for something with his fixation on physical appearance. Perhaps that explains why, even in those baggy suits, his hands appear so small. In his jokes, Maher imitated Trump's signature hand gestures. Almost immediately after the jokes began, Trump's carefully constructed persona began to crumble. When Maher compared the ex-president to a city roach, he didn't hold back. I mean, think about those cockroaches in New York. Trump is just like them. He gets stronger the more garbage he consumes. Believe me when I say that he has been consuming his own shit for quite a while. Maher then moved on to criticize Trump for his intransigence.
And then there's one forgery, which has to do with the electors scheme. Criminal intent for...
What is the forgery?
Criminal intent to basically steal the election or to coerce people in the states. He's crazy.
That's kind of crazy.
I mean, it's insane that you can't let go of the idea that you can't be seen as a loser. I mean, it's a real thing, and it affects everything he thinks and does. It's why foreign leaders were able to curry favor with him. I always said this in the beginning. It all comes back to he is a clinical case of malignant narcissism.
This guy is so allergic to losing. He probably thinks second place in a beauty pageant is just the first loser. With each jab, the comedian built up to his big punchline, teased the audience. Last but not least, Maher brought attention to Trump's delicate ego. Do you know why Trump finds defeat so unbearable? His inner self is fully aware that he is an imposter, a man who boasted of becoming a self-made billionaire after inheriting his father's wealth. He fumbles his words and demands that we address him as a big boy, sounding like a toddler stepping into his dad's shoes. The crowd erupted in laughter, but Maher had more to say.
If you want to talk about in terms of an election, but you talk about in terms of the guy who's in office right now, like, why don't I like him? One of the things that I don't like has nothing to do with any of his choices, is that he's mentally compromised. I think there's something wrong.
The other guy isn't.
Well, okay, he speaks much clearer. He might be crazy. He might be a sociopath.
He is crazy. He's crazy and stupid.
With a mischievous glint in his eye, he leaned in. No, hold on a second. Nobody has even scratched the surface of the Trump circus. Stay tuned because we're gonna skip the fluff and get to the meat of this orange-colored catastrophe. Listen up because what's coming up next is absolutely jaw-dropping. After Maher dropped his bombshell, the crowd was in fits of laughter and gasping for air. Up until an attempt to manipulate an election occurs, everything is okay. People, Trump is now seriously serious. A constitutional crisis in the making, he is now. Believe me when I say that nothing is more terrifying than discovering that your blind date is actually Rudy Giuliani, complete with a wig. Maher's expression turned gloomy as he probed Trump's legal issues. Anyone interested in talking about our favorite crazy, stupid criminal should do so. Trump is no longer tinkering with imaginary planes. The legal nonsense in which he is embroiled is grave and genuine. And like a deck of terrible cards, the comedian turned commentator laid out Trump's growing problems. It all starts with the controversy surrounding secret documents. It appears that Trump believed that his golf trophies would look splendid displayed alongside secret documents. Moreover, there is the entire "let's pretend I won the election" incident. Spoiler: the answer is no. The crowd gasped when Maher linked Trump's behavior to possible illegal behavior. Do you recall Trump's attempt to intimidate Mike Pence into nullifying the election? Trump wasn't simply being himself, as he often is. Everyone, that was absolutely illegal. It seems he tried to flush the Constitution down the toilet after using it as a napkin. He likely clogged it as well, given his eating habits. The complicated legal material was made easier to understand by Maher by breaking down the RICO charges in Georgia, similar to the menu at a mob-run restaurant. The accusations leveled against Trump are extensive. We intend to pose as government officials and spread misinformation, just like a former president would. Efforts by Trump to influence officials and nullify election results were informed to the audience. Trump is a desperate man who calls frantically, like a teenager trying to get a prom date, said Maher. He was likely offering state lawmakers a stay at Mar-a-Lago in return for a few thousand votes. How awful of a deal. Room tensions rose as Maher hinted at Trump's potential dire consequences. Look folks, the problem here is bigger than Trump anymore. The fate of our democracy hangs in the balance here. If we choose to ignore this, what will happen? Is the rock, paper, scissors method used by presidents to decide who will be elected? Maher gave a gloomy analysis of Trump's danger. Trump has progressed beyond being a crude joke now. America is in grave danger from him. His antics with autocrats are terrifying, not charming. He appears intent on transforming the White House into an autocratic social club. As he wrapped up, Maher instilled a sense of determination and care in the audience. Laughing at Trump is easy. I get it. Oh my goodness, I make a living doing it. Still, we can't allow ourselves to be sidetracked by the jokes and ignore the serious issues at hand, because we could all end up in the middle of a joke if we aren't careful. Everyone here has laughed their fair share, but let's be real for a second. These days, Trump is more than simply a strange-haired kook. He resembles that persistent pop-up, only this one could destroy your computer, or more precisely, our democratic system. Simply said, you can't afford to lose sight of what really matters while you're engrossed in the orange clown show. Trump attempted to steal an election like it was a hotel bathrobe, so while it's funny to joke about his little hands and invisible planes, keep that in mind. No matter how funny Trump is, the current situation of our country is not funny at all. That being said, be careful, keep your wits about you, and maybe even eat some veggies. In order to keep up with the circus, we need to maintain our health.